Okay, welcome back to the Rebel Chumps, guys. We're gonna talk about the Sabercore 3 software. So I just plugged in my Saber with the Sabercore 3.0 soundboard into the USB port and opened Sabercore 3.0 the software. Now guys, remind yourself this software only runs if you have Windows 10 64 bits installed. If you run Windows 7, Windows Vista, Windows 8.1, or you have a Mac computer, the Sabercore 3.0 software won't work. It will not work. So here we go, guys. We have a whole bunch of options here. We have 3 sound banks. We have font 1, 2 and 3. We have several clashes, swings and whatnot, and we can listen to them. So we can listen to all the swings. Now we can't do anything with the swings itself. We cannot, oh actually we can, sorry, my bad. We can actually delete swings that we don't like, but we are not able to add custom swings to a existing sound font by using the software. So we have the power option. Let's see what we have. So they have a few options. So let me rephrase. The Sabercore 3 soundboard has 3 sound fonts, and then you have different effects such as swings, clashes, spins, power, hum, auxiliary, miss, and miscellaneous. Now the power has only 2 sounds, so either power on and power off. Let's, for example, a Plector Labs, a Nana Biscotti, or a Crystal Shard, or a Crystal Focus, or an NAC Ignited R3 can have multiple power ons, multiple power offs, and you can toggle between them. With the Sabercore 3.0, it's you only have 2 fells, an on fel and an off fel, which is okay, but it's a limited. Spins, we have 4 spin sounds. So that's kind of nice. Clashes, we have 20 different clash sounds. That's kind of interesting that they have so many different clash sounds, but the swings are also 20. So I feel kind of interesting that they choose for a max of 20 different swing sounds, which is quite nice though. Now don't get me wrong, it's pretty good. But the clash sounds also up to 20 different clash sounds, which I wanted to see more. If we could see more different spins, maybe 6 or 8 different spins, that would be nice. But that is the limitation of this board at this moment, or maybe it has to do with this particular sound font. We will check the other sound fonts to make sure. We're doing this together on the go, so it's a little bit of an exploration here. The hum, let's see. So that's the basic underlying tone. Okay, that's cool. Auxiliary blaster sounds, okay. Miscellaneous, we have some lockup, and so startup sounds. Now we can't change the startup sound. I actually can delete it. That is kind of nice because I don't like these sounds.
Dark Side Relic.
I personally don't like it. So in this case, I can delete it. Now I don't do it yet because I don't have this font. I don't have a backup of this font yet. So that is something we want to do. So we want to click save all fonts. So in the configuration now we saved it, but there's no option to save all these configurations to a file on your desktop. For example, you can burn it to the chip, but you cannot alternatively have a txt file, a text file with all those configurations in there, and then you can import it into the Sabercore 3.0. So if you have different configuration files that you drag and drop for easy use, that which you can do with the Nana Biscotti, for example, you can have a whole config files with all bunch of different sound fonts and configurations, and you can just copy another one and then copy over, of course, the sound fonts that corresponds to that txt file, the config file, to make the differences. But it's okay. It's a little bit limited, but it is what it is. So we have fonts 1, 2 and 3. We can't name the fonts either, so you don't know which is what font unless you go to the font, go to the power and or the MISC, and then go to the startup, so you know which sound font you're working on. This sound fonts only have 10 clash sounds, ominous, and has 20 swings and has 4 spins. The other one, this is I forgot what's the name of this one. Not sure what it said, Newler or something. I can't hear that. 20 swings, 10 clashes and 4 spins. So this sound font has the most in terms of swing, clashes and spins, because it has the most. It has double the clashes. but let's see. This one has 4 blaster sounds as well, 4 blaster sounds as well. Strangely enough, different counting system. That's interesting. No, it's not. So yeah, it's interesting that the official Saberforge sound font has different amounts of swings and clashes. Interesting choice. I wish it was all uniform and have equal amounts, because it's all dedicatedly made for Sabercore 3.0 by Shamim, I believe. Nonetheless, very cool. So we see the battery voltage here as well, so we can see how full the battery is. Now that's pretty cool actually, that it has this indicator. We go to settings, and then we can adjust the class sensitivity for each sound font. So as you can see, we have 3 sound font options, and so we can set class sensitivity, motion sensitivity, and spin sensitivity. Now on spin sensitivity, this is all default. On default, I have to say, I feel that this Saber is way too sensitive for spinning, and the motion sensitivity as well. So I'm gonna drop it down by a few notches. So I'm gonna mute it to 25, and then we're gonna build it up. Motion sensitivity, well, the clash sounds we can leave it at 60, because we don't want to bash too hard, but the motion sensitivity is way too much for me. So it's really good though, but I'm gonna set it to 25 and build it up from there by testing it. Same for the span sensitivity, lowering it a little bit so it doesn't go nuts. Maybe we put that one on 30. And that's how you basically can do that per sound font, which is pretty cool. What is... Don't know why you have this prefill. Anyway, inactivity, timeout, I'm gonna lower that to 1 minute. So after 1 minute the Saber will go to in deep sleep mode. I felt like 2 minutes a little bit short. The volume is at 18, so we have another 20% leverage. I feel at 80 it's fine. It's not overly loud, but it's loud enough for me, and that's good for me. Acceleration, gyro, woo, and that's if I touch this is me touching the lightsaber, so you can see how sensitive it is by just looking at the graph. So you can adjust the settings now. Oh, I didn't know that. Now the lightsaber is plugged into USB, and I can move the lightsaber, and it actually shows me how sensitive it is. So that's like a Rise setup. So I can really configure the lightsaber without having to plug it in, plug it out. And that is something that you have with, for example, the Plector Lab soundboards, where you have the config files, you set it to something, you have to load it back to the USB, the SD card back into the lightsaber, and then test if you are happy with the settings or not, and then repeat the session by taking out the SD card, edit the config files, and repeat that. But this is very easy. So I still have the sensitivity is the motion I feel still too extreme. Wow, I put the motion sensitivity to 14, and it's still it's quite sensitive, so I'm gonna leave it at 14 for now, and I might lower it or higher it over time. That is pretty darn cool. Let me put it to 100 just to check it. Ah, yeah, it's definitely a bit louder. So I can also mute it from here or not. Yep, I can mute it. That's cool. So I have this option. Let me put it at 50. What's that? I think I need 70. Yeah, 70 is a little bit better for me. I don't like it very loud, my lightsaber. So that is it. Then we have some other features. It's actually quite good. You can see the temperature of the lightsaber. I don't know if this is correct. It's at 86 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know how much that is, but that's interesting. So we have different options for each sound font. I don't like the fast shimmering, to be honest, so I go to put this on slow shimmering for sound font 2, and oh, that was actually, I tried that. This one is slow pulse, right? I actually like the slow pulse more than the shimmering. I will show you guys in a bit how that shows up. Power on, fade up delay, so that's cool. You can adjust that. I can actually push this button here and turn on the lightsaber. Oh, that's cool. So I want my power off delay as low as possible, which is 12. I cannot adjust this apparently. Okay, that's interesting. So there's no option to adjust that. That's a little bit too bad. Did I just adjust it? No. No. Okay. It's all experiment, of course. So we're doing that on the go. This is a class. Okay. And we save it. And then we do burn to chip, because we want to save these settings, and that's it. So it's erasing font 1, and then it's gonna write it back. So what happened now, font 1 is probably loaded in my memory, in my RAM memory, temporarily, while it's erasing it physically from the ROM of the soundboard, and then it's gonna install back the updated sound fonts with its settings. Now this soundboard does not use an SD card. They use a ROM, which is a basically a chip, like a black chip that you have seen probably before in hardware electronics, and data is written directly to that chip, which you basically can see it as a memory module, basically on a hard coded or hard physically embedded on the board itself. So you don't have to tinker around with SD cards, but if that chip gets corrupted, you might have some issues where you cannot uncorrupt it by using this software, and that requires maybe a different method to do that. But let's see. So writing the data, the change that I made, it takes around 12 minutes or so, a good plus minute to make the changes. So the good thing is you can make the changes in the application, directly feel and touch the lightsaber, go through that process of fine-tuning it, and then once you're done, it takes a minute to upload it to back to the board, and that's it. So there's also an update of a version. Now I don't know what the updated version is, but I think in this case I want to do that. Open. Okay, there is no. Okay, it's asking me to update the firmware, but there's no file. I thought it was a update available over the internet. So that's it. That's pretty cool. That's pretty easy and pretty friendly to use, this soundboard. Hope this video was informative for you if you are interested in picking up a Sabercore 3.0 soundboard for do-yourself installation, or you're gonna pick up a Saberforge with that soundboard installed. I think it's a little neat soundboard tool, not overly complicated, having the right stuff on the right places, and yeah, it works pretty stable so far if I could see it. So yeah, this is a good software in my personal opinion. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know in the comments if you want to see some more information or stuff about Sabercore 3.0 software, and I will cover that for you guys. Thank you very much, and bye bye.